Good morning.
Good morning.
Great. Let's try that one more time. I want to see how much we can. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great. Excellent. Welcome to UCR, which stands for the Unitarian Universalist Church in Reston. I am Mike Schmitt. I'm your board host this morning. I'm going to go off script for just a second to share a quick, brief history of how I am now your board president. So flashback to earlier this year, and the nominating committee, which is the group of folks who select new board members, found themselves in a bit of a tight spot with an outgoing president and no VP and a dwindling number of at-large members. So they obviously went to the smartest person at UCR, and she said no. So then, of course, they just went to the tallest person at UCR, and he said no too. So then they just came to me. And so that's mostly hyperbole, but back to business. Whether you're here on Zoom, watching on Zoom, or here in the sanctuary with us, we're very glad that you're here with us this morning. No matter how old or young you are, whether you're wherever you are on your spiritual journey, however you identify and whoever you love, know that you're welcome here. And let's give a quick, if you're ready, Amelia, let's give a quick wave to that camera to say hi to our Zoom people this morning. Thank you. Now I have a brief few announcements. First off, Harry Davis, our office manager, continues to be out on medical leave. We all really miss him, and our office is currently being staffed by Greg Rada, who has volunteered very graciously, and he can be reached by the main phone number or at admin@UReston email address. It's also with regret that we have had to cancel the concert for later this afternoon, titled Songs We Need Now, by pianist Alan Naylor, just due to health reasons. So that should be rescheduled for a later date, and we'll be in touch with more info when we have it. This coming Friday, July 18th at 6 p.m. here in the sanctuary, there will be a game night and potluck. These have been very well attended lately and have been going really well, and anyone who enjoys that idea should come along. Next, the memorial service for Rod Paolini will be this coming Saturday, July 19th at 1 p.m. here in the sanctuary. He was an active member of UCR and of U Fairfax, and where he occupied himself with many projects like social action and social justice committees. This morning after the service, there will be a Science Sunday presentation by Pat and George titled From a Neutron to Your Home, How We Harness the Power of the Atom to Electrify Our World. Please join in for this, for an informational time. One little addition, please join Reston Cups, that's CUUPS, for a, let me pronounce that, Lunasa Community Feast and Revel on Saturday, August 2nd here at UCR. All are welcome to attend as we celebrate the First Harvest Festival with a bardic circle of silliness, singing and storytelling, food and games. It will scheduled to run from 6 to 9 p.m. And then finally, anyone who has any announcements to add, please submit by email by Tuesday. For any given week, submit by Tuesday. Now let us set ourselves for worship. Please take a moment to make sure your cell phones are on silent mode for anyone left who still doesn't carry them around on silent mode 100% of the time. And let's take some deep, quieting breaths together. And let us enter our time of worship together as we enjoy this morning's prelude.
We have cleared off the table, the leftovers saved, washed the dishes, and put them away. I have told you a story and tucked you in tight at the end of your knockabout day. As the moon sets its sail to carry you to sleep over the midnight sea, well, I will sing you a song no one sang to me. May it keep you good company. You can be anybody that you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads. And know I will love you still. You can live by yourself. You can gather friends around. You can choose one special one. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're gone.
Some boys are quiet and kind.
Some race on ahead, some follow behind.
Some grow in their own space and time.
Some women love women, and some men love men. Some raise children, and some never do.
You can dream of a day never reaching the end, of everything possible for you. Don't be rattled by names, by taunts or games, but seek out spirits true. If you give your friends the best part of yourself, they will give the same back to you. You can be anybody that you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads. And know I will love you still. You can live by yourself. You can gather friends around. You can choose one special one. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're gone.
Oh, the love you leave behind when you're gone.
Good morning. I am the Reverend Charlotte Lehmann, and I am so happy to be back here to be a pulpit guest once again here at UUCR. And you'll find that this service is a little eclectic in what I share with you. And part of that is celebrating our diversity as human beings. So the prelude by the Flirtations, which is also in our teal hymnal, and you probably enjoy singing it now and then. Our opening words are by Maya Angelou. Still I rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust I rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns with certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. And now I invite you to rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, This Little Light of Mine, and I'm going to make sure we have a light on the left-hand side.
Number 118 can be found in the gray hymnal or your order of service or your Zoom chat box.
These chalice lighting words are by our guest minister, Reverend Charlotte Lehmann. The flame we light in our chalice represents passion for our shared values while we hold different beliefs, perseverance in bending the arc of the universe toward justice, and the staying power of the eternal light, which is love.
UCR, we have a beloved tradition of singing our covenant together. Love is the spirit of this church. You may remain seated while we sing it together, and if you are visiting us today for the very first time, we ask that you accept this as our blessing to you.
Now is the time in our service when we share our joys and concerns, so that no one ever has to hold them alone. If you are joining us remotely, you may wish to light a real or virtual candle wherever you are this morning to mark what is on your heart, as members of the in-person congregation place stones in the water here in the sanctuary. If those of you at home would like to share what is in your heart today in the congregational chat on the screen, please write to all attendees, and please remember that what you share will be public. Those at home may then read others' joys and concerns shared in the chat, and then enter into your own time of reflection and prayer as we listen to Megan play our meditation music.
Let us be one in prayer and meditation. Spirit of life and love that so faithfully animates our creation, we are grateful for this community that is with us in both times of joy and sorrow. We hold in our hearts this morning all who are facing any hardship or difficulty, those who are grieving or facing illness or disability in themselves or friends or loved ones. In particular this morning, we hold in our hearts and prayers those who are dealing with the aftermath of devastating storms and floodwaters in Texas. We light this candle for those who have died, lost their homes and belongings, as well as their loved ones in the Texas Hill Country of Kerr County and surrounding areas, including the girls and staff at Camp Mystic when flash flooding occurred on the Guadalupe River in central Texas on the 4th of July. People in Texas are tying green ribbons around trees and other poles in remembrance of those who have died. We will pause now for some moments of silent prayer. Namaste, blessed be, Ashe, and Amen.
This responsive reading is by Frank L. Stanton. When I say a short passage after which you will, upon my gesture, respond to the words, keep it going. Let's say that together one time. Keep it going. All right. If you strike a thorn or a rose, keep it going. If it hails or if it snows, keep it going. Tain't no use to set and whine when the fish ain't on your line. Bait your hook and keep on trying. When the weather kills your crop, keep it going. When you tumble from the top, keep it going. Suppose you're out of every dime, being so ain't any crime. Tell the world you're feeling prime, keep it going. When it looks like all is up, keep it going. Drain the sweetness from your cup, keep it going. See the wild birds on the wing, hear the bells that sweetly ring. When you're feeling like sighing, sing, keep it going.
All right, now is the time for our offering. First, I want a quick show of hands. Who out there knew already that we are a self-funded church? Okay, not everyone was required to know that. Of those, who knows what self-funded church means? Okay, cool. So just to recap, a self-funded church means we have no diocese funneling money to us. And we need funds to keep the lights on, keep our programs running. And for that, we rely on the generosity of our members and friends to fund, daily operations, keeping it nice and cool, having a staff, keeping the trash getting emptied weekly, I hope, and to ensure that the church and its resources are here for us and others now and in the future. Pledges and other donations support worship and music programs, religious education, programs for members and friends, community outreach, subsidizing certain things like game night, and a lot of other things, community outreach, the hypothermia prevention program in the winters, and our connections to Unitarian Universalism. We now invite you to support the work of U Reston by making your donations to the collection plate that will go around. As always, anyone who is watching online or wants to do it later can use the link found in our, right now, if you're on Zoom, it will be in the chat. There are other ways to find the link if you would like to make a donation later. Thank you for your generosity and your support of our beloved spiritual home.
Our first reading is from the moderator's report, June 23rd, 2013, attributed to Ginny Cotier. Without a vision, the people perish. But it's because the people aren't visioning, not because no one gave them something. Without a vision, the people perish because they are no longer active in their own future. Your congregants, us together, are responsible for setting that 50-year vision for the Unitarian Universalism with and through your Board of Trustees and General Assembly. I also think this gets tied to growth, my friends, because I think without a vision, the people perish. And if the people in your place aren't dreaming, maybe then you're not exciting enough to be with. I need you to dream. You need you to dream. Without a vision, the people perish. Our last reading is from Grit, Perseverance and Passion for Long-Term Goals by Angela Duckworth et al. Long-term, we suggest that one personal quality is shared by the most prominent leaders in every field, grit. We define grit as perseverance and passion for long-term goals. Grit entails working strenuously toward challenges, maintaining effort and interest over the years, despite failure, adversity, plateaus, and progress. The gritty individual approaches achievement as a marathon. His or her or their advantage is stamina. Whereas disappointment or boredom signals to others that it is time to change trajectory and cut losses, the gritty individual stays the course. Grit overlaps with achievement aspects of conscientiousness, but differs in its emphasis on long-term stamina rather than short-term intensity. The gritty individual not only finishes the task at hand, but pursues a given aim over the years. Grit is also distinct from dependability aspects of conscientiousness, including self-control in its specification of consistent goals and interests. An individual high in self-control but moderate in grit may, for example, effectively control his or her or their temper, stick to his or her or their diet, resist the urge to surf the internet at work, yet switch careers annually.
Is 391, Voice Still and Small, in the gray hymnal. The words are also in the order of service in your Zoom chat box. Please rise and body your spirit and join me in singing.
How many of you are aware that tomorrow, July 14th, is the French holiday designated as Bastille Day? Oh, so many of you, wonderful. In 1789, tensions rose in France between reformist and conservative factions as the country struggled to resolve an economic crisis. On July 14th, one faction of the discontent stormed the Bastille, a fortress prison in Paris. Later that summer, in August, the Declaration of Rights of Man and of the Citizen was proclaimed. The events in 1789 led to the French Revolution, which eventually established the French Republic. As early as 1790, the French have celebrated the storming of the Bastille as France Day of Defiance, a national holiday. A symbol of peace, it is a celebration of the creation of a federated republic in France. The holiday is a symbol of liberty, unity, and national identity. I am struck by the many similarities to our present situation here in the United States. Imagine the true grit, the passion, perseverance, and staying power that the people of 18th century France exhibited to attain greater justice. I think really and truly we are in the same place today where we need to do the same. Allow me to share some more stories about true grit, starting with one that is titled just that, True Grit. In a New York Times book review of Charles Portis's 1968 classic novel about the American West, Elliot Fremont Smith wrote, "True grit is when you are a 14-year-old girl from Yell County, Arkansas, and you've just shot a dangerous outlaw and the gun's recoil has sent you backward into a pit, and you are wedged in the pit and sinking fast into the cave below where bats are brushing up against your legs, and you reach out for something to hold on to and find a rotting corpse beside you. And it's full of angry rattlers. And then it turns out you didn't kill the outlaw. He's up at the rim of the pit laughing at you, about to shoot you, and you don't lose your nerve. That's true grit." If you've seen either the John Wayne or the Jeff Bridges version of the movie, you'll remember that they play the gritty, one-eyed U.S. Marshal Rooster Cogburn, hired by Maddie Rose, the 14-year-old girl just described. The story is about Maddie Rose and her search for the man who killed her father. When she asked who is the best U.S. Marshal in town, Cogburn is described to Maddie as having grit. She engages Cogburn to help her catch the dangerous outlaw because of his alleged grit. We learn through Maddie Rose's recollections that Cogburn has the storied history of shady character, moving from place to place and constantly changing occupations. We could ask if Rooster Cogburn fits Duckworth et al.'s description of grit. They have concluded that grit overlaps with achievement aspects of conscientiousness, but differs in its emphasis on long-term stamina rather than short-term intensity. The gritty individual not only finishes tasks at hand, but pursues a given aim over years. Grit is also distinct from dependability aspects of conscientiousness, including self-control, in its specification of consistent goals and interests. In the end, Maddie does conclude that Cogburn lives up to his gritty reputation, but his past sure doesn't suggest it. Maddie Rose certainly has true grit. Despite being out of her depth, she insists on going with the marshal and a Texas Ranger who is also out to catch the same man. We never meet Maddie Rose's father or other family members in this story, and we might wonder from whence her grittiness came. Maddie has a passion for justice. She perseveres in the face of post-Civil War sexism, and she sticks to her vision of avenging her father's death. In another film, The Auction, 2014, gritty Quebecois sheep farmer Gabby Gagnon explains to his younger daughter, Frederica, his decision to sell his farm in order to bail out her older sister. He tells Frederic that contrary to what everyone has thought, it isn't the farm that is his raison d'etre. Instead, he says, "My life is my children." And he continues, "Fathers need to give to be happy. We're like that. I want you to live your life the way you want to. That's all." Gabby's wish for his daughters echoes the wishes expressed in the song "Everything Possible" by Fred Small. And you can be anybody you want to be. It is the kind of love we all desire and deserve to feel from our fathers or the father figures in our lives. I know that my own father loved giving to his children. One of his character traits was generosity. Another prominent character trait was perseverance. He was also passionate about his work. A consulting geologist with a 55-year career, Dad's vision of developing an important platinum group metals project in northern Minnesota kept him going right up to his last days in December of 2013. He had true grit. He gave me the gifts of true grit, passion, perseverance, and staying power. As a kid, I was drawn to stories about people with grit. Maybe I saw myself in these intrepid explorers, survivors, and underdog heroes and heroines. People who keep a going no matter what life metes out. People who still rise despite social injustices such as racism, anti-Semitism, sexism, homophobia, anti-immigrant, and anti-transgender violence. People who have kept alive the flame that might light the way for those who follow after them. We Unitarian Universalists have our share of exemplary individuals who have modeled grit, abolitionist ministers such as Theodore Parker, crusaders for the rights of the downtrodden and oppressed such as Dorothea Dix, radical reformers like Michael Servetus and Francis David. And the women of the Iowa Sisterhood and other minority ministers and lay leaders throughout our Unitarian Universalist and Unitarian Universalist history who have faced the glass ceiling of discrimination. People like Ethelred Brown, Louis McGee, Harry Richardson, who were active in ministry in the early to mid-20th century. These three African-American Unitarian ministers exhibited true grit and persevered in the blatant atmosphere of culturally taught racial and ethnic prejudice that leaders of our faith also espoused, and which, starting in 2017, is finally being honestly addressed within our denomination. These men founded and led churches despite being discouraged from attending seminary, being denied fellowship, and not being called by established white majority congregations. And it isn't just the folks who have become famous either. In a 1934 article in the Binghamton, New York Press describes the first leader of the local church, the First Universalist Society of Binghamton, New York. He was the Reverend William M. DeLong, who served from the congregation's inception in 1835 to 1865. The article says he was apparently a man of perseverance, for delegates to the Shenango Universalist Association attended regularly from Binghamton, and a session of the association was held here, that is, in Binghamton, New York. 190 years later, the descendants of that first Universalist congregation in Binghamton, where I served for a year as a ministerial intern, still has members and leaders who regularly attend denominational meetings, such as the UUA's General Assembly, bolster their leadership skills through trainings, and whose passion for Unitarian Universalism inspires them to work tirelessly on programs, small and large, related to local and national issues. Like the congregation in Binghamton, the Unitarian Universalist Church in Tallahassee, Florida, UUCT, where I served 2 years as an interim minister, has persisted because of the members who bring their dreams, their passion, their perseverance, and staying power. UUCT was founded as a lay-led fellowship at a time in Tallahassee's history when blacks and whites were overtly segregated by Jim Crow laws. This beloved community believed that all were created equal and deserved to be treated with respect. UUCT's members were and are actively involved in Tallahassee's fight for civil and human rights. The congregation has had a vision. Therefore, it has not perished. At times, perhaps that staying power has flagged. Even the strongest stamina grows weary. Nonetheless, UUCT keeps it going. All of the effort pays off in the long run. And I expect that the same is true here at the Unitarian Universalist congregation in Reston, Virginia. This congregation has persisted because of the members who bring dreams, passion, perseverance, and staying power. Some of you have been here a very long time. Congregations, and not just UU ones, across the country are facing similar challenges. What keeps them a-going is having a vision. I imagine that you have a vision of remaining a beacon of liberal religion in this city in Northern Virginia. You likely have a vision of growing in community and in service. A vision statement expressed the long-term goals of the congregation on the order of 50 years, as former UUA moderator Ginny Courtier said in her final report to the General Assembly in 2013. And grit, as Duckworth et al. Define it, is perseverance and passion for those goals. Mission and vision statements are just two examples of the many seeds sown by healthy congregations, which then bear fruit. Regardless of UU Reston's particular challenges, still you rise. The flame of passion is kept alive each and every time a congregation and its members renew their commitment to live fully the congregation's mission and vision. That is evidence of healthy congregational life. And I'm hoping, I'm going to insert here, that during coffee hour and in the days and weeks ahead, that you will have conversations, particularly with your new board members, about what has kept this congregation alive, what is important to this congregation, and the vision you have for the future that will keep you going here in Reston. Without some grit, none of us, whether individuals or communities, would be who or where we are today. Grit requires us to practice continually. The more we practice, the grittier we become. I feel fortunate to have had a father who acted as a grit role model for me. Maybe it is something that was passed down in my psychological DNA, but rest assured that grit is a character trait that is cultivated. Even when we do not have good role models or it is not inherited generation after generation, grittiness is an active attribute. We become gritty as we weather adversity and failure. The quest for truth and meaning in our lives, the development of our spiritual nature, and our ability to be empathetic all stem from times that have tried our souls. I have met quite a number of people who have true grit during my life's journey. Some of the grittiest people I know are survivors of illness, abuse, or trauma, or are people who daily face obstacles and challenges that appear daunting to others. Our characters are developed in the same way that the Velveteen Rabbit becomes real through wear and tear. The scarring, cracks, and chips that evidence a lifetime of experiences becomes part of our grace and beauty. Theologically speaking, perseverance is defined as continuance in a state of grace to the end, leading to eternal salvation. For Unitarian Universalists who have such diversity of beliefs, I think it is helpful to think of eternal salvation as renewal of the spirit. It takes plenty of grit to live in accordance with our previous 7 principles and now in covenant with the 6 values with love at the center. It takes grit to be in covenantal community. Leadership qualities may come naturally to some, but without honing, coming into contact with the whetstone of life, leaders do not become great. With grit, there may be sparks, but at least we know there is fire in the commitment. There is passion, there is perseverance, there is staying power. With true grit, we know that even if, as the Buddhist saying goes, we fall down 7 times, we will get up 8. We know that the flame will be kept alive. We still rise. Let me conclude with the last sentence from one of Barbara Merritt's meditations. I like to travel with those who know the way ahead is impossibly far, and who, nevertheless, put the sun to their backs and go forward in faith. We will keep a-going. Say it with me. Keep a-going. Please rise now in body or spirit to sing our closing hymn, number 1028 in the Teal hymnal, The Fire of Commitment.
Will
Our benediction is by J. Mercer. It's called Preparing for a Hike. Consider the season. In the spring, pack sandals for water crossings. In the fall, a space blanket for the unplanned night out. Consider the route. Imagine your way through the good route and also the other route, the less preferred, the one you'll need when the first proves impassable. Consider what to carry in your head. Don't listen to sappy music before setting off. The sappier the music, the more you will resent your own brain. Don't worry about what to do with your head. Your head won't work after some hours on the trail, or I might add, in this heat and humidity. Consider what you'll pass through. Know your trees, your ferns, your mushrooms. Know your wildflowers, both the garish and the shy. Know the birds by their calls, and distinguish the chickadee from the white-throat sparrow. Mind the oven bird. Take joy in the winter wren, your most tireless companion, and be ready with the first step to give up control and let the journey unfold on its own, as it most certainly will. Let its accidents become opportunities. Let its challenges become triumphs. Let it enter your heart and inhabit you. Let it sanctify you. Let you and the journey and nature be one, as you most certainly are.
The chalice is now extinguished, but its light lives on in the minds and hearts and souls of each one of you. Carry that flame with you as you leave this place and share it with those you know, with those you love, and most especially with those you have yet to meet.
I want to especially thank Megan and Heather for the music this morning.
Not my style.
That's a long run from the AV stand. Please join us for coffee and conversation in the East Foyer. That's through those doors. And if you're willing, stick around for Science Sunday shortly after the service in this same room, in this same Zoom. Thank you.